it's time for me to talk about something that I've been really looking forward to discussing with someone.
Okay.
And that is Brigsby Bear.
Did you say Paddington Bear?
No, not Paddington Bear. Brigsby Bear.
Ah, of course, Brigsby, yeah.
Right, so the Brigsby Bear, I'll be honest with you, I kind of assumed it was a character that existed.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Paddington. I assumed it was like, maybe it's like an American thing that I just don't know about. Right. No, and that's the point.
Okay.
Right, okay, so you can just strap yourself in because this gets mad. Okay, so you've got a guy who's kind of in his early 20s, kind of college-age guy, James / Jimmy. So he's played by Kyle Mooney from Saturday Night Live, he also writes and produces the film.
Okay.
And he's that guy, if you don't know what he looks like that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. He is living in a bunker underground, post-apocalyptic, with his two parents, his dad of whom is played by Mark Hamill. His mum is Jane Addams from Hung. Remember his sheep imp from Hung? Yeah. And, right, he lives in this underground bunker. He devotes his time to trying to decode the messages of this TV show, Brigsby Bear, on his antiquated, very 1980s-esque retro technology that he has, because that's, at the point the world ended. And this show, Brigsby Bear, seems to have begun life as like a play school-style children's show that taught kids how to read, and then has weirdly evolved into this full-blown, cleverly orchestrated, mapped-out, story-arced space opera, like Battlestar Galactica or something.
Okay.
Right. And that's what he's doing. He's trying to decipher the conspiracy theories within. However, all of this falls by the wayside when one day the doors to the bunker fly open, the FBI break in and decide to remove the kidnapped victim that these two people have been hiding underground for decades.
Say what?
Exactly. It also then transpires that Brigsby Bear was a product of his father / abductor to keep him in line. What? Yeah, his father has been hiring studio space and waitresses to star in this thing.
So it's kind of evolved as he's got older.
That's why it's evolved. It's evolved specifically to him. Right. He then decides, as he's reunited with his birth family and brought into the modern world, which he has no knowledge of whatsoever, that he wants to finish the story of Brigsby Bear. And as it happens, there's a shed load of filming equipment left over from his dad, because obviously the police have impounded it, and all he needs to do is get that back, and he will guerrilla-style film his own Brigsby Bear conclusion. We have a clip of the police officer handling his case, played by Greg Kinnear, turning up at his house to deliver some of this equipment.
James, just the man I was looking for.
Wait, where's all your soldier stuff?
Huh? I'm off duty right now. Now look, there's no way I could get you everything on that list, all right? But forensics does have more evidence than they know what to do with. So I figured they wouldn't miss a couple items, like...
The Sordis crystal!
That's what I thought. Yeah, and I found this in back. Wasn't on the list, but...
Four-tip staff! I thought that was stuck in a time flux.
I don't know what that is, but it's got a nice weight to it. And last but not least, one of these bad boys.
That's Brigsby.
Kyle Mooney there with Greg Kinnear, and I love this movie so much.
Sounds insane.
It's bonkers, but it's bonkers in that way that Donnie Darko was bonkers.
Yeah.
Imagine, if you will, the more comedic answer. I mean, it's still quite blackly comedic, but it's got a slight bit more broad appeal to it than Donnie Darko.
Not as confusing.
Not as confused, a bit more straight. It's more straightforward, but it treads similar ground in one sense. That sort of off-kilter, slightly out of the way kind of way that Donnie Darko dealt with things. If I were going to compare it to anything, really, though, I would say, do you ever see Blast from the Past with Brendan Fraser and Alicia Silverstone?
Yeah.
Right. Imagine that movie if, when Brendan Fraser got out of the bunker, he was on PCP. Right.
Okay.
That's basically this movie. But it doesn't have Christopher Walken, it has Mark Hamill instead. And Mark Hamill's evidently up to the job, which no one expected. So the cast are all brilliant, absolutely all brilliant. I liked Matt Walsh and Michaela Watkins, who I think is really underrated, as his birth parents. June Adams is always fun to see. Kyle Mooney, I thought, really brought something to this. Managed to resist wandering into kind of nebbish, kind of territory. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. I really did. I didn't expect to at all, but I liked how it had all these great elements of other great movies. It did something unique with them. It didn't fall back on basically aping those movies too much. There's a bit of Be Kind Rewind in there, for instance, with the staging of the movie. The whole retro Brigsby thing is fantastic. Some of the bizarre messages that are in the bits that we see, for instance.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued by that, I have to say.
Remember, kids, sweat is just your brain's way of pushing the poison out of your body. Weird little things like that, in this 80s VHS retro kind of a style. All looks like a live-action Super Ted.
Right.
It's deranged, it's hilarious, it's very sad and moving in places. I loved it. I really did.
Is this going on wide release, or is it more of an indie?
I think it is more of a limited release. It's one of those where if you get it in a mainstream multiplex, I think it'd be on like one screening a night.
Yeah.
But I believe it is on demand. So,
okay.
I think it is on demand as well. So it's one of those releases where it goes out on a small number of cinemas, but you get it on demand on the same day.
Sweet.
So, yeah. So, and face multiplex or 15 quid for at home. I think I'll pay the 15. So
Same price.
OnScreen.